In the West, and in most developed nations around the world, the birth rates are falling. This video will discuss why that is, how to fix it, and why this isn't a problem in the first place. In the process of evolution, the animals who prioritize survival are those that survive. However, survival in itself is rarely a stimuli. Instead, animals draw pleasure and comfort in activities that lead to our survival. Eating, sleeping, and sex, for example. Humans have found a way to game the system. We can have all the pleasures of life without the major downsides that our ancestors had to endure. We are able to eat a lot without having to hunt for food. We are able to sleep a lot without having to worry about predators. We are able to have a lot of sex without having children. Having a child is a clear hit to the comfort of our lives. But until recently, it was quite difficult to obtain any kind of reliable contraception. Until now. The more widespread access to abortion, pornography, and contraception in general paved way for life to be hedonistically fulfilling and child-free at the same time. Many see it as a problem, but is it really? Eventually, all human societies that do not regularly reproduce will go extinct or substantially shrink in population. Eventually, they will be replaced by societies with reproduction values, religious or family-oriented ones, for example. Another matter to discuss is the phenomenon of parenting. Unless you have some metaphysical convictions, like religion or preservation of a nation, it is unlikely that you will value parenting in itself, especially in the nation where reciprocal care of offsprings for parents is not compulsory. But if you do have a child, then our biological and chemical processes kick in, and we not only see creation of life, children, and parenting as pleasurable, but as morally good and valuable. That leads to having more children. Statistically, it is more likely that a woman has 2 children than 1, and it is also more likely that a woman has no children than 1 child. We can call this phenomenon continuism. Continuism is the idea that the future societies will prioritize reproduction and survival over all other values. Note that I am not claiming here that survival and reproduction are good in themselves, merely that these will be the primary values of the future societies. I am not even claiming that these will be the top values of a society. Perhaps something like freedom or justice will be these values, and survival and reproduction will naturally grow out of these values. To say that reproduction is a value or is objectively good is akin to saying that vanilla is the best flavor of ice cream. It is just not true for all people. That concludes the first part of the video. In the second part, we will discuss how these conclusions arise from a phenoeutilistic perspective and what a future society that cares about reproduction looks like. If you don't know about phenoeutilism, this is where the informative part of the video ends for you. In that case, I suggest you watch my Introduction to Phenoeutilism series first. That gives rise to another paradox. People that care about repopulation, birth rates, and the survival of society try to motivate others to have children because it is good for the future of a nation/country/society. The issue is, of course, that people that don't want children have little to no reason to care about the future of the country. If they can work, provide for a pleasurable life for themselves, and then die, then why would they care what happens after, even if they are religious? So, first let's talk about why a person would care or not care about reproduction. It of course has to do with MI necessity pair. I is related to survival. M is related to predictions of the future and symbolism. The symbolism here is the nation or the culture. People might care that without repopulation, their nation will be overrun by people from other cultures, and their cultural symbolism will be diluted and lost. On the other hand, people with PE values don't care about symbolism and survival at all. To them, the quality of their life and the lives of their contemporaries is much more important. They would prioritize pleasure throughout their life and self-expression that will last beyond their lives. An important note here is that EPOC types do actually have, or proclaim to have, family values. The reason is that they enjoy emotional events, and family gatherings are one of them. Additionally, after having a child, the biological processes that lead to emotional well-being create utility. The same is true about OCIM types, but they care about reproduction anyway. On the other hand, the SAEP types don't care about this whole reproduction business at all. 13s and 16s are quite likely to adopt children, however, to stay busy or to provide comfort for someone. But values of reproduction, survival, culture are not for them. The idea of continuism that I briefly mentioned is not for them. But let's actually talk about what a society focused on reproduction and survival would look like. So, what does a continuous society look like? We have, of course, OCIM and IMSA types that by default care about survival, reproduction, and cultural symbolism. As I mentioned in my introduction videos, the best society is the one that has all people with the same value group. So pure IMSA or a pure OCIM society would be a continuous society. If EPOC people never discovered that they can reproduce, that would not diminish their lives one bit. For that reason, a pure EPOC society would cease to exist rather quickly. If you have any criticisms or questions, these are welcome in the comment section. Or you can go to dragondrumsticks.com, where I go into much more detail on everything phenoeutilism related. I also have an X account with the same handle. Thank you for watching till the end.